is Ashley Hui Xing Lee, and my student ID is 1044048855, and this is my submission for OOP assignment option 2. So I will start with the shape class, which is the abstract base class for my program. Okay, so we look for the color XY. This class uses abstraction to define the common property that every shape must have color, X and Y coordinates, and a boolean to track if it is selected. By putting them here, I avoid repeating the code in the child class. So these methods, look at draw outline, ESET, scroll. These methods act as a contract. The shape class doesn't implement them because it doesn't know what specific shape is it. Instead, it forces all child classes like rectangle and circle to provide their own specific implementation for this action. The rectangle 1 classes that inherits from shape. So since the parent class only handle position X and Y, so I added the width and height fields here to define the rectangle size. Okay, and for the draw methods, I use splash kit fill rectangle to render the shape. For draw outline, I draw a large blade rectangle around the shape to clearly show when it is selected. And finally, for the skull, I simply multiple width and the height by the scale factor. This allows the rectangle to shrink or grow while maintaining its proportion. Here is the circle 1 class. It inherits from the shape base class. This means it is a type of shape, but it has its own specific properties. For example, while the base class handles the position and color, the circle class adds a unique field called radius, which is specific to circles. And now look at the draw methods. I use polymorphism to override the abstract methods from the parent class. For example, for this draw methods, I use the splash kit fill circle to draw the shape. And for ESET methods, I use the splash kit dot point in circle to detect if the mouse click inside the circle to check if point is inside the circle. And finally, for the skull feature, I override the methods to multiple the circle radius by the skull factor, making it smaller. Next, we have a drawing class. This class acts as the manager for the application. Okay, so here. The most important file here is this list of shape. Because of polymorphism, this single list can store rectangles, circles, lines together. I go to here. The draw methods. In the draw methods, I use for each loop to interact with the list. So I simply ask every shape to draw itself. The drawing class doesn't need to know if it's drawing a circle or square because the individual object can handle that logic. Okay, and go to the skull. here. So as for SAM, scroll all methods also using the for each loop to go through the list and call the scroll method on every shape passing in the scroll vector. Okay, so the line 1 class also based on the shape class. Shape class is the best class. Okay, so look for here. Like the others, it inherits from shape. However, a line needs 2 points to exist, that is x and y. So I need to add nx and ny here to represent the endpoint. And for here, the draw outline methods, I did something different because a line is too thin to have a border. So I draw small black dots at the start and end point. When it is selected, this gives the user clear visual feedback. For its 8 methods, clicking exactly on the line is difficult, so I use splash key point on line to check if the mouse click is close enough to the line to select it. Okay, for the last is scope. So I calculate the vector here or distance between the start and end point. Then I multiple the distance by the scale factor to calculate the new end position, effectively straightening the line. And I need to open the new terminal and run the .NET view. Success and .NET run. Alright, and here is the shape drawer that I can draw different shape now. So when I press for R, this is for rectangle. Okay, for C, this is for circle, and L for line. Okay, I can click to press them. I can also right click to select the shape right now. Alright, when I select them, and I can press delete to remove them. Okay, so I also add 3 features inside my code. So now for the specific option 2 features, this is the random shape generator. So when I press G, the program will generate the random shapes and random location, random color, and click again. There are more. Okay, so the second feature is drawing my name. My first name is Ashley. So when I press the N key, my name will draw up on the canvas using line object. Okay, so for the third feature is scaling. When I press S key, look at here. All the shape on the screen will scale down by 10%. You can see the name and the shape getting smaller, and when I continue to click it, it will smaller, and small. Okay, so this is all for my display. So now I'm going to briefly explain the code structure. Okay, so here for the first, I use an abstract base class called shape, and it contains common data like color, x, and y. It also defines abstract methods like draw, and scope. And so here is an example of abstraction. And I also have 3 child classes like rectangle 1, circle 1, and line 1. They all inherit from the shape class. This allowed them to share the code from the parent class while having their own specific shapes. So for this demonstrate rectangle 1 and public override. This demonstrates polymorphism. Each child class overrides and draw methods differently. Like rectangle, for rectangle. Okay, so for the rectangle, it will draw rectangle. For circle 1, it will draw a circle. And for the line 1, will draw a line. Okay, so go back to the rectangle class. For the scale. For rectangle, I will reduce the width and height. And for circle, I reduce the radius. And for line, I reduce the point line distance. Okay, so finally, the drawing class manage a list of shapes. Let's look at here. Manage a list of shapes in draws and scale O. Here, scale O methods. I looked through this list because of polymorphism. I don't need to know if a shape is a circle or a square. I just tell it to draw or scale and it knows what to do. That concludes my demonstration. Thank you for watching.